In this video, I want to show us another method to balance chemical equations when we get stuck and it doesn't seem like a whole number can fit into one of the spots. So we have the same problem as last time, and last time we had a trouble in this spot right here where we couldn't add any whole number to balance out the oxygens once we got to balancing the oxygens. And this method is not as effective as the previous method I showed, in that it does not work 100% of the time, but it will work probably at least like 99% of the time. And I would say that this is the method that I've always used. I like this method better. Students tend to prefer this method. And I think that in all of my high school and college chemistry classes, I don't think that I've actually encountered a problem that this method didn't work. It technically might not work in certain problems, but you'd have to have a pretty hard problem for it to not work. So with that all being said, if you find this worthwhile, then tune into this video and see if this method is right for you. All right, so let's go ahead and try to start balancing this chemical equation and see if we get stuck. I know we will, because this is the same problem as last time. So we have carbon, hydrogen, chlorine, and oxygen. Carbon, hydrogen, chlorine, oxygen. And I have 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 3, 2, 2. All right, balancing everything out. I've got 2, put a 2 there for 2 carbons. That gives us 5 total oxygens, because I have 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 more. All right, so 5 total oxygens. Carbon is now balanced. Hydrogen is already balanced, and chlorine is already balanced. Now we just need to balance the oxygens. But oh wait, we got stuck, because no number, I can't put any number here that will, there's no whole number that can go there to balance, to make 2 go into 5. All right, in the previous method, I told you that you can insert a decimal, you could insert 2.5, or you could say you could insert 5 divided by 2. But for people who don't like that, and that might seem confusing, I've got another method for us here. What we are going to do is follow these directions. If you get stuck because there is no whole number you can add as a coefficient to balance an element, double everything, recount everything, and continue to try to solve. If that doesn't work, triple everything and try to solve. Be sure that your final answer is simplified. And I also just want to say that, like, so, you know, if it doesn't work, triple everything. You can do that, but it's pretty rare that you'll have to triple something. It's very, very, very rare. It might happen, so, you know, take that into account. But usually doubling everything is going to solve your problem. All right, so let's look at this. What I want to do is I want to double everything. So I'm going to write down, times 2. I'm going to double everything. So I'm going to write a 2 here, 2 here, change that to a 4, 2, 2. So double everything. Now we need to recount everything. Let's do that. Change this to 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and let's see, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 more is 10. All right, so 2 does not go into 5. Like, I can't get, and no number times 2 equals 5. No whole number times 2 equals 5. But there is a whole number that I could put here. I could cross off this 2 and put a different whole number there that I can multiply by 2 to get 10. So that's why we doubled everything there. So let's change this 2 to what times 2 equals 10? Well, 5 times 2 equals 10. So I'm going to change that 2 to a 5. And I'll now have 5 times 2. I'll have 10 oxygens. And if we look here, everything is balanced between these two. So double everything. If you get stuck, double everything. Just make sure you go back through and say, okay, is this answer simplified? All right, it's 2, 5, 4, 2, 2. You can't divide any of those by a number to make them still a whole number. That's as simplified as it gets. All right, so a lot of people like this method better. I like it better too. Let's try this method for that other problem that we had. So aluminum, oxygen, and then Al2O3, aluminum oxide. All right, let's look at this. Let's count out what we have. I have aluminum, and I have oxygen. Try to solve this. Pause the video and try to solve this on your own, and then come back. All right, so I have 1 aluminum, 2 oxygens, 2 aluminums, 3 oxygens. If I put a 2 here, a 2 here, aluminum is now balanced. Oxygen is still not balanced though. I have to figure out what number can I add here? What times 2 equals 3? Well, wait a second. There isn't a whole number times 2 that equals 3. So I get stuck here. I could do that previous method on adding a decimal, but maybe that's confusing to me. Let's do a different method. All right, I'm stuck. 2 does not go into 3, so let's just double everything. So change this to a 4. Put a 2 here and a 2 here. Recalculate everything. 4, 4, 4, 6. And then let's now try to resolve. So remember, 2 did not go into 3, but 2 does go into 6. So we're going to ask ourselves, what times 2 equals 6? What times 2 equals 6? Well, let's cross off this 2 because we're going to put a 3 here. Because 3 times 2 equals 6. All right, so if you like that method better, it will work 100% of the time in my class, and it'll work 99% of the time in all other classes. If you like this method, feel free to use it. It is plenty effective.